Daughters, what is something you wish your father knew about girls when you were growing up? I wish my dad understood that his overprotective rules didn't actually protect me at all. Dad was convinced that keeping me locked down would keep me safe. No sleepovers at friends' houses, no makeup until I was 17, no social media accounts, definitely no talking to boys, not even as friends. He made me feel like just being a girl was dangerous, like I was some fragile thing that would break if the world touched me. The worst part was dealing with normal girl stuff. When I got my period at 12, I had to ask my mom to buy pads because dad acted like periods were something dirty and shameful. He literally left the room when mom tried to explain it to him. Once on a family road trip to visit my grandparents, I leaked through my jeans in the car. Dad saw the stain when we stopped for gas and got so mad. He said I was embarrassing the family and made me sit on a towel for the rest of the trip. I was 13 and already felt horrible about it. He wouldn't let me shave my legs until I turned 16, even though kids started making fun of my hairy legs in 6th grade. They called me Sasquatch and Wookiee legs. When I begged him to let me shave, he said I was too young to worry about what boys thought. But it wasn't even about boys, it was about feeling normal around other girls. Mom tried to stick up for me sometimes, but dad always had the final say. He'd pull the whole, "I'm just looking out for her" speech. The world is full of creeps and predators, he'd say. I won't let anything happen to my little girl. But here's the thing that still makes me angry. All those rules and restrictions meant I had zero experience dealing with actual creeps when I finally met one. At 15, I was so starved for attention and friendship that when some guy started messaging me on Instagram, I thought it was amazing. His name was Tyler, and he said he was 18, which seemed so mature and cool. I had made the account secretly on my phone, using a different name so dad wouldn't find it. Tyler was the first person who ever told me I was pretty. He sent me long messages about how mature I seemed, how different I was from other girls my age. He said he understood how controlling parents could be because his were the same way. For 3 months, we talked every single day. He convinced me that what we had was special, that age was just a number, that my parents wouldn't understand our connection. He started asking me to send photos, just innocent ones at first. Then he wanted me to pose in my pajamas, then without my shirt. I was so desperate to keep his attention, so afraid he'd lose interest and I'd go back to having nobody, that I did whatever he asked. I thought this was what love felt like, having someone want to see you and talk to you all the time. Then one day he told me he wanted to meet up. He said he'd pick me up after school, that we could finally be together. But something felt wrong about it. Maybe it was the way he kept pushing when I said I wasn't ready, or how angry he got when I suggested meeting somewhere public first. That's when he showed his true colors. He said he had all my photos saved, and if I didn't meet him, he'd send them to everyone at my school. He'd found my real Instagram somehow, and had screenshots of all my classmates and teachers. He said he'd make sure everyone knew what kind of girl I really was. I completely panicked. I had no idea what to do. I couldn't tell dad because I knew he'd explode, take my phone away forever, and probably ground me until college. I was terrified he'd blame me for being stupid enough to trust someone online. Instead, I told my school counselor, Miss Rodriguez. She was young and cool and had always been nice to me. She immediately called the police and my parents. Turns out Tyler was actually 24 and had been doing this to girls all over the state. When dad found out, he didn't yell at me like I expected. He just cried. But then he made it all about him, about how he'd failed to protect me, about how he should have been more careful. He tried to take away my phone completely and wanted to homeschool me so I'd never be around people who might hurt me. The whole thing made me realize that dad's protection was actually what put me in danger. The predator got arrested and went to jail.